We're live, right? Yep, we're live. Okay. Hello. It's been a couple of days. I got already 3 weeks this week, which is very, weird. But, yeah, so we're here. Yep, we're here. So basically, I said it to myself, okay, I'm gonna go and finish my map. So I went and finished my map. This is what the final result is. So, if you remember from the end of the last one, if you were there, I don't know if you were there. Basically, I started this map, and I basically finished it. Well, I got to like a good three-quarters of the way. So I wanted to like go back over, tell you guys what I did afterwards and all that. So I ended it off by stopping around this layer, I think. So I did this bit, and then I added the little ledge here, and then I just like went on to the decorations. So if I go back here and add the grid, so basically what I've done is I've made it so that you cannot see the edges, right? But anything you can see blank here, you can't see in the game, basically, like at all. There's no point in decorating it, I find. Now, if you're doing like a gigantic map, which I have done in the past, probably worth it to try and like make it so that you can kind of see that. But for the most part, it isn't necessary here, for example. So today, you might have seen it as I started the stream. We are going to do the next part of this, which is going to be right in here. We're going to be doing the cave. So, taking into consideration this entire structure, the cave, we're going to go into the Quake type caverns, and we are going to make it's a little bit bigger because I think probably need a bit more space. So we're going to start here, and obviously I'm going to expand as we go. I've already started compiling a little tiny tile set, but I'm going to be working on this as we go. So I've been kind of like making sure that everything kind of like fits together and like all that kind of stuff. I did not want the lanterns at all, actually. So I'm just gonna So from here, we're going to... There's not a lot on this tile set, right? So I might be adding more as we go along, and as I try and expand the... You know, I've already added like the tags and all I needed to add here. So we're not like behind or anything like that. Okay, maybe I'll have to add a couple to the rock, but like there's not a lot on the style set. I'm gonna be adding as I go though, so that's not something I'm going to be too concerned about. Because like everything's a work in progress, right? So before I forget, I'm gonna add. What was I gonna add? There is a tile I made. Do I want? I think I want. No, do I not want that one? I don't think I want that one. There was a path tile somewhere I wanted to use in here, but I can't remember where it is. I'll look at the other one. Hang on. Oh, what am I doing? Tile set's over here. So I can... What's this? Cave mud. Okay. I don't know why I closed that again. Right. So now, with these in total, we've got all this, and now let's see what we can do with this. So if we're going to go back and forth between the bog, and we're going to go and like the caverns a lot. I don't know why this is actually not like in front, because this is the first one. So we're gonna be looking at the bog, and then we're gonna be looking at the cavern. And obviously, the bog. I don't know why. I decided I realized this after I did it, but I wanted sinking mud mechanics here, and then I realized, wow, the only sinking mud mechanics in this in the engine is outdated by like a lot. So I was like, okay, well I had to fix that then. I had to fix that, and then I had to after this map had been finished, basically, I was like, okay, I want to get the mud tiles sorted. So I did kind of get it sorted. A friend of mine helped me out. Kota helped me out with this. If you watch any of like the past streams, I've been doing streams with him, like playing games and stuff. Do need to strike a bit more. Oops. I just have. Oh yeah. It's not what I called it. Oh whatever. Take that off. Little spoiler things there that aren't going to be in the game for a while, but I decided to make them anyway. You'll find out more about that kind of particular feature when Chapter 2 releases for Tengai, but not right now. I'm gonna stop saying So I'm gonna show you guys really quick what I have like done. So as it happens, okay, it's a little bit glitchy with following Pokemon at the minute, but as it stands, I can get stuck in the mud here. And obviously we've got encounters and stuff here, your typical bog encounters and stuff. Yeah, the water, you can get stuck in the water. Kind of. It's not like 100% thing. Oh, okay, it is. It is at the minute because we were testing it out. For the most part, you shouldn't be getting stuck in it all the time. As it currently stands, there is only encounters in the grass. I did want it to make it into the mud as well, but it's a little complicated. It's a little wacky, so it's not working as intended at the minute. Because of some weird, like, it as you can see when you're in the bog and you're moving around like this, you can basically, if you're moving around this much, because you have to keep moving around, you know, to like get unstuck, you can like trigger multiple fights, which is not what I wanted. So I decided we're still working on that error, but like the bog is basically done. Obviously, you guys can't hear the music from the game, but you can hear. I've got this little BGM going right now, so. So, probably a little known fact is I've actually been doing this kind of like game dev for like 5 or so years. Not this game, but if you go on Twitter and you can find the hashtag Pokemon Axis, that's the game I've been working on for 5 years, mostly on and off. I play this. I make this as I want to say side project, but I'm doing more work on this at the minute than I am doing on Axis. So, caverns. I'm gonna make it a little bit wider. I'll make it like 60 wide. So, what I usually do when I'm making this kind of, you know, this kind of thing, when I'm connecting a map to another map via like a cave or something, I try and make the cave as similar to the outside as possible in shape. Like, so for example, this layer right here is the most important layer, right? Because the shape of this basically decides the shape of the cave. Anything else is like a little, it's like going upwards, like a mound, so it's not that big of a deal. Although you do have to remember the height, because if you're like, if this is higher than 3, it's probably a bit too much. So because of that, let's begin by doing this. So I don't want to make it like a darker cave, because I've got tons of darker caves already, and it doesn't need to be dark. There's no reason for it to be dark. And to be fair, most games, most Pokemon game caves aren't exactly dark. So is there really any reason for the cave to be dark here as well? I'm just going to turn the music up ever so slightly. So because of that, we are... What's it called? What was I doing? Alright, okay, so, yeah, cave. So we're taking the outside of this, and we're going to be changing it into the beginning bit here. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do this, but I have obviously got all the tiles I need to make this successful. I'm going to start... I'm going to start by placing a tile here, and not that particular bit, because I need to add a little bit more in. Alright, so if I do that on this layer, oops, keep doing that. Does that look darker, or is that my imagination? I think I might have screwed up the... Yeah, I might have screwed up the coloring just ever so slightly. I was doing it. I need to do this and this. Go back, so we want to go. And then we're going to set this whole bit. And we're going to go like that. And we're going to go like that. Or not. Or rather, yeah, I guess like that. So we want to go like that and like that. Huh. Weird. Okay, hang on. Why are the spots doing that? That's not the kind of thing I want. Hold on. So let me see. So let's get this outline sorted real quick. Hold on. Me and Caves had this really weird like connection. I kind of decent-ish at Caves. Kind of. I'm not gonna gas myself too much about the caves, but I feel like that my caves are okay. And then finally, I missed. Oh yeah, I did. Hang on. Right here. I've overwritten it by accident, but here and here are shinier spots. Okay, do that, and then we go. Okay, now it matches the rest of it. So now it's a consistent flow. I could use this, but at the same time, I'm not so sure. I've got it there as a precaution, and obviously I need to change the base color on these as well. But I want to see if I can like kind of sprinkle this around, see if I can make it like look consistent. I'm obviously gonna have to. Everything's like subject to moving around and stuff like that, so it's not going to be like a constant flow. And obviously, I don't have to follow the. Yeah, I don't have to follow the cave outline if I don't want to. I can vaguely follow it, but obviously you're inside the cave now, and it could be like as much to a specific direction as possible if you really want to, because obviously. It's a tunnel at the end of the day, so it's like you dug into it. It doesn't have to be the shape of the mountain, but the base shape of the mountain is like kind of important because it generates how much space you actually have to like break into. You get what I mean? Well, at least that's how caves really work. But maybe it's not the best idea to use that kind of logic. Maybe I'll make a darker one just for the floors. That might be a good idea. Hang on, do I still have? Nope. I'm gonna quickly remember how high this was. It's there. Okay, so it was like that, and then it was how far down? How far across was it? That much, I believe. Right, so we're gonna take that, we're gonna paste this over here. That's too short. Is that too short? Or is that too long? Maybe that was just too long. No, I think that one's just too short. Hang on, I'll save it and see because I have a blank spot here. Oh no, there's a blank. There's a thing missing. Okay, so go back to here. Which was it? It was this one. I went all the way to here. Right, now that this is like that. Oh, and there's also a gigantic gap to the side. Have I made this too small? Oops. I may or may not have made this tile here like worse. Oh yeah, I definitely have. Okay. That's really awkward. I should have tested this before I did it. I think I made the tile too short. Oopsie. How far back can I go? Oh, it's gonna remove all the stuff I was doing. No. This is awful. How have I made this tile too small? How hard is it to make this tile properly? I literally looked at this and thought, oh yeah, I can get to that level. That looks like that, but it's actually like way wider for some reason. Just so bizarre. Because it looks like it should be like this almost. The actual tile is like bigger than that. Maybe it's like I should probably be looking at the outside one rather than the inside one. It's probably gonna be like this, right? Okay. I'll copy and paste on that one later and sort the trees out. So probably won't be probably won't be that many trees at the minute. Right, now that I have this, I'm gonna make it darker by. Sure that's there. Make that darker by maybe like 20. Now I can use this as a floor tile. So basically, now I can do that. I've got this like this and this and this. And then from here, I can go like this. Obviously, that means I'm gonna have to make the grass tile the same, but it's not as bad as like having an entire bit just kind of be destroyed. Now, the reason I like using the reason I like using tiles like that is so that you can differentiate between a floor tile and a wall, right? It also kind of like works in shading in a way. So like, oh yeah, this is shaded like this, so this is like obviously a darker floor tile, and then anything above it is like, oh, it's probably not a floor tile here. Kind of deal. Now I'm not sure how big I want to make the whole area. I'm still trying to like decide, because I showed you guys before, right? We had the map. I'm gonna just grab the map real quick. Where's the map again? Go. We got the map, and obviously this is a really rough like showing of like what the general area is going to be. I don't know how big each like way is going to be. It has to be big enough that you can have a self-contained story in each bit, right? So that has to kind of portray that it's not a small one, it's kind of big-ish. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to make it mostly cave and waterfall, or if I want to make it cave, waterfall, and like an area at the bottom where most of it's like the cave and waterfall is like kind of minimalized, and then there's like a lot of lake lands near, like in the valley, right? At the bottom, right? So obviously there'll be kind of someone like leading. There'll be kind of someone leading you kind of through it. So that'll be part of the story, I guess. But yeah, there'll be someone leading you through it, just slowly. Move this up a bit. The other thing about this, right, is because it's the top here, I might add a black tile because I'm not really sure if I want to make it as no. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of roughly how the story and like that's roughly how progression is going to work in each area, right? There's going to be like one person showing you roughly how to get around the area, and then or like giving you like really maybe not vague directions, but like general directions on which way you can go, but not the way you have to go. Obviously you can go and explore. That's basically what I want the game to be, is that I don't want to restrict people to the story. The story is there, right? But I don't want people to feel like doing the story is all you need to do. Now, Pokemon is kind of a story-based game, but after a while, like once you've completed, like, say the main campaign, there's no story. So like, they have to like, you know, make it so that people stay interested, right? Right. So what they do is they make the areas more explorable as you go forward, and that's how they keep you kind of like. Because like you can come back to an area and be like, oh yeah, I can do this now. So why don't I look for something I can use this on, or that kind of deal. And it's just like that's the way it should be, the progression, and not just like, oh, go to X and go to X like they've been doing recently. Because they're I feel like the older staff more than the newer staff are like kind of disillusioned in Game Freak to like, oh yeah, the general Pokemon fan doesn't have enough of an attention span to like kids nowadays don't have enough of an attention span to, you know, like to keep doing something after you've done the main campaign. And to that I say no. There is a lot of kids that can still do that, but I feel like they don't understand that. They're not like, because they've seen their like either their own kids or something like that, and they're like, oh yeah, these kids aren't really like feel like there's enough left to do. So I don't think it's necessary to make a big like sprawling, like they're making big worlds, but they're not making like fulfilling worlds, I think is the right. Like some of it looks cool, right? But after a while, there isn't really like there's not enough like exploration to do in modern Pokemon games. That's really like the best way I can put it. It's like they don't let you explore. It's not like it's like, oh yeah, you've played the game, you finished this, you've caught all the Pokemon, yada yada yada. Now do what you want. It's basically how I see their current attitude towards like how to play their games, I guess. And I don't know, I don't feel like that's the best idea. It's like, it's great in order to have content, like, so you can say, oh yeah, say you finished something and it's like, you finished like, say the Pokedex or something like that. It's like, okay, cool, you finished the Pokedex. Now what can I do because you finished the Pokedex? Oh yeah, this could open up, or this could open up. Now that you've got the Pokedex, you can go over here and you can like gather new items to make, you know, future content. And then I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's good to have something to do, I guess is the right word. It doesn't have to be. And I think there's another game that I feel like is really popular, but it really suffers with this exact same problem. Is that this game is Genshin Impact. Yeah, it's like Genshin Impact is, as I've seen really recently, it's been described as an art project. It's nice to look at, but it has no substance. And I kind of agree with that. It's like, oh yeah, these characters look cool, but there's nothing you can fucking do with them. Like, there's not enough content in the game to keep people coming back day in, day out. Like me, for example, what I do basically what I do on Genshin is I see a new banner. I'm like, oh, cool, new banner. I'm like, okay, this character looks cool. And then I roll, I get the character, and I close the game, and I don't open up until next time I play the game. Until a new character is released. That's basically me with Genshin. And that's a problem. I mean, most people do the same thing as me, but they don't roll. I had the funds to be able to roll, so. But yeah, that's the real problem, I think, is that games like that don't have substance. Like, they're nice to look at, and they're kind of fun to play, but there's nothing really to do once you've done a specific amount of things. It's like, you want to keep. It's great that they cater to newer players by adding like, oh yeah, this thing is now available to earlier, or this is happening, or this is happening. But it's like some of the events are kind of really, really bad. Like, they barely acknowledge their own first anniversary, which everyone noticed was and that's a huge issue. Like, if your game is like incredibly popular and you don't properly celebrate a birthday, it's like, what are you doing? Like, they like to drip feed their fans on Genshin. I don't understand it. I don't get it, right? So like, at the minute, they've had a new update, and I'm gonna date myself here. Ayato has just first come out, right? And he's really, really good. I've seen him in action, and he is really, really, really good. However, there's barely anywhere to use him. Like, they gave us an entirely new area, and people who play Genshin like a lot will probably break that area in, like, I think most of the people have broken it already, right? Because he came out like a while, not long ago, like a couple of days, not a couple of days, like a week ago or something, right? So at this time they introduced the chasm, and the chasm's probably just been like completely explored by most of the active player base now. So it's like, is there? And then once you've like broken the area, there's nothing else to do, right? There's nothing keeping you engaged. How did I get to the topic? But yeah, and because of this, there's nothing keeping you playing the game, and this is something that Game Freak has noted and has started incorporating. It's like, oh yeah, you're playing the game for the Pokemon, you're playing for the thing, and there's no character substance half the time. So like, you're playing the game, and it's like, oh yeah, these characters are the same shit as you've seen like 600 times. That's fun. And just after a while, I think to myself, is it worth it? And this is why I think fan projects are really good, because it introduces, okay, so people, I'm not going to say they're more creative than Game Freak, but they understand the fans better as their fans, right? And there's always a vision that you want to show off. So like for me, it's like I want to make a game where people can explore. I want to make a game where people can progress at their own pace. They don't have to feel forced to do like gyms or trials to progress with the story. It's like you can go to an area, you can explore it. You can do the story if you want for a bit, or you can come back. Now, this is what I was saying before the last. Oh, why is this car here? Whatever. This is what I was saying before, is that I didn't know if I wanted to like sacrifice exploration for, because okay, I don't know if I said it last time, but there was a guy when I released the game jam version of this game, and he did not realize that there were function walls around, right? So basically what he did is he went and explored like basically the entirety of chapter 1. Well, like at least two or so areas of chapter 1. And then he realized, oh, and he said, oh, this is really weird. I can't find a way to progress. And I was like, did you fact check? And I was like, okay, that's weird. What have you done? And he told me what he did. He gone and like explored the areas, 2 of the areas, and like found himself at dead ends. And I was like, did you pick up the functions that are literally just before those dead ends? He's like, those are there. So because of that one guy, I had to add these really visible walls with really visible symbols on them and make them consistent, because before they were just on pillars like this, right? But he said, oh, well, when I first saw one of those, it was on a wall. And I was like, okay, that's fair. Honestly, I can understand why you got confused. But I think he went, well, not this map, but basically the jam equivalent of this map, because this map got like expanded upon version 1. So he got to here. He didn't see this because it was on a pillar like this, and then he went past it and he got to the maze. There's the maze. He got to the maze, right? And he got stuck because he couldn't get across the country. And then I think he went south. He went south, and he got stuck because he couldn't go any further because he didn't have the surfing function, right? And he was like, he said to me, I'm really confused how to progress, and I'm like, just pick up the function, they're right there. But then he said, oh, well, these are on like really small pillars, and the game taught me as the tutorial that they're always on big walls. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, that's a very valid point. So for version 1, I went around and I made every function on a big wall like that to emulate the first one, and I made every function I made it all visible. I've reworked the functions just ever so slightly, but like that's basically what happened. And because of that, it had to make me change my philosophy a bit to allow, also because he also said, oh yeah, and when he said that he'd gone and explored the areas, and I thought to myself, yeah, I kind of forgot you could do that. I kind of designed them so the areas so that you could just like do it, and then come back, and then continue the story. But my brain had never thought, what if the person goes and explores all the areas and then progresses the story? And once that clicked in my brain, I was like, yeah, I should try and keep doing that. It's like, so functions are not story based is what I came to as an explanation. So what I'm gonna do for chapter 2, I think, is keep that philosophy, because that philosophy is key to exploration, right? And instead of forcing people to do stories to get functions, which would probably be the case for here, if it wasn't, if I hadn't done it. So I think we've got rock. So there's going to be 4 functions. I haven't written the 4th one on here that are going to be unlocked in version 2. And it's going to be heat proof, which doesn't seem really like obvious, but as the main characters are robots, it's kind of like hard to explore a volcano if you're not heat proof, right? It's gonna be the waterfall one and the rock climb one, right? So they're gonna be like out in the open, fully accessible, and then once you've done them, you can explore. Once you've got all three of them, you can explore the whole area, right? And you can keep exploring. You don't have to do the story, and then you can just like keep leveling up, and you can max out your Pokemon if you really want to. Well, like, because every chapter's got a level cap. First one is 35. And I think the second one's either going to be 50 or 55. I'm not. I think I've settled on 55. That's going to have to be on me to balance. There's a lot of the experience comes from trainers. I have got a balanced system in my scripts, but I haven't really like. I don't know how it works on higher levels, because I'm pretty sure you get the more experience you get, the more experience you get, the harder it's going to be to level up. So I'm really concerned about how people are going to level if they're just exploring the area. It's not going to increase the because the trainer levels are going to increase based on the story progression. So it's going to be like you can explore the area, but you won't be able to hit the cap, basically. Okay, so we've got a basic layout for a cave now. I'm gonna quickly keep doing this. I'm erasing tiles because of the fact that there is an outside bit and it's not just an inside mountain, if you get what I mean. Because of that, I'm gonna be like, kind of like, this is probably gonna be like a basic outline. I might. Do I want this to lead on to another part of the cave, or do I want this to lead on to... Actually, wait. Tell you what. I will make it... I won't make it this big. I'm going to make this the interlude. And I'm going to go right here. I'm going to delete all this bit on both layers. Right? And I'm going to join these up. And I'm going to make it into like an entrance. So it will be like an entranceway up like this, and then here, and it will lead onto the bigger part of the cave. So it'll be like a small part of the cave, and it will lead onto the bigger part of the caverns, right? Which will lead onto the waterfalls outside, and they'll have to keep weaving in between them, and all that jazz, right? That is probably what I want to do here. That seems like a really good idea. Now, I don't know how big I want to make the caverns themselves, because like I said, I want people to explore, but I don't want people to get bored stuck in the caverns, right? That's another factor I had to keep in mind, is that not every player plays the same. So I have to kind of not. I mean, the word catering is probably not the best word to use here, but the word I want to kind of like focus on is I want every player to be able to play to what they can do, right? So the big thing is going to be, I'm going to just open up a new page here. Hold on. Just across. So basically, I want the player to and this is probably the most important thing, right? As a game designer, you want people to have fun. If you're not making like a Dark Souls game, then yeah, have fun is the biggest thing, right? So B, show off mechanics. So what I mean by show off mechanics is, for example, here in the bog and stuff, it's going to be the sinking mud, which I might place in people's way for like items and stuff. In that regard. C, allow players to explore to their own, well, rather on their own is probably the better way to say it. This is really important for Tengai specifically, is because I want people to explore and not feel the need to be trapped by the story. and I've said this a lot in the last 40 minutes, right, is I want to focus on exploring, but I don't want to force people to only explore, right? Because some people are going to be like, I'm really lost. I want to see where's the next story beat. Now, this is where the quest log comes in. Because, well, I'm going to just pull up. So, the quest log, this is going to be edited as time goes on. This is not the full length of chapter 2. Because, like, if you look at chapter 1, it's huge, right? This is where the quest log comes in, right? The quest log is going to be really, really, really useful for people who want to leave the story as optional, but don't want to forget where to go. And I mean, worst case, they can stumble into story, so there's no reason why. So, another thing that's probably going to be like really important here is this is a cave, and notoriously, caves are really annoying with encounters. So one of the things I need to really make sure I'm not doing is I need to make sure that I'm not, I don't have the encounter rate super high, but I also can't make the encounter rate non-existent. You know what I mean? I can't make the encounter rate non-existent because if I make it non-existent, then there's no roadblocks. There's nothing to stop the player from just wandering. Now obviously, the addition of stuff like White Flute and all that, I don't know if I have them in the game. I don't think I do. They are like the exception, I guess is the right word to put here. They're like the exception because White Flute is something that I can't really control. The only way I can really control White Flute is by where I put it. So if you don't know already, White Flute, is it White Flute or is it Black Flute that lowers encounter rate? I think it's White Flute, but it might be Black Flute. One of those two lowers encounter rate. So they're a kind of powerful tools if you want to like navigate rather safely. You know what I mean? I think actually, wait, I might do something clever here if I can. I'm gonna so we have a second layer, right? Which means it has to loop around somehow and get to that. So I might try and do that here in this area right here. It's gonna require me to have the steps a little bit. Oop. Oop. And then we have this one like this. I have to go this bit, rather just this one. But yeah, so player enjoyability is something I really want to focus on. It's not the easiest thing. Obviously, the game is going to be catered more to people who want to like explore around the area than like just do a story for the heck of it. Because there's going to be a lot of players who are like, oh yeah, I just want to play the story. Because a lot of people just enjoy Pokemon stories, right? And I get that. Because I'm also one of those people. I really enjoy the story in games. So, if the game isn't fun, how many layers is it? Just 2, right? So yeah, this is enough. But yeah, if the game is not as enjoyable... Oh, this is going to be awkward. Hang on. I think I might need to just squish this one back down. Oh, wait. What? This gap is not wide enough. Hang on, I'm thinking here. My brain is processing. Layers are really annoying sometimes. Hang on. Hit this bit, put that like that. I need to show myself where... I think it's either going to have to be a tile long, or I'm going to have to, like, squeeze this around a bit. Hold on. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like, quickly... Oop. Do that. I think, 'cause, 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 Okay, and I'm like that, and we do this. Okay, there we go. Where was I? I completely just lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I've just completely lost my train of thought. Basically, I don't want players to feel like they have to do one thing or the other. So you can play the game for the story, you can play the game for the exploration, you can play it for okay. It's really hard to do without becoming a nightmare fuel, but I really want people to like experience my kind of like breed of balancing, is I guess is the word I want to use here. I'm kind of like a balancing freak. I like to balance things to make it not super easy but not super hard, and that also makes it really complicated for me to like actually it makes it hard for me to like work with other people, because I really just like balancing stuff like crazily. Now, sometimes I'll balance it out really like, how do I explain it? Sometimes I'll balance out really hard. It's like, oh yeah, you get specific like in Axis, for example, I balance it really hard. So like, oh yeah, I have like encounters pulled up, I have like, what can you have at this stage of the game that makes it easier to fight or harder to fight, and I kind of like balance it around that. It's caused a lot of problems with the decks itself, meaning that sometimes there's not enough of a specific type in like most of the early games. So say for example electric types. In the current demo of Axis, there is like barely any electric types. So with my new remodel, I'm making it, obviously I'm not going to like overload electric types, right? But I've made it pretty balanced, I want to say. I think I've got an image I can pull up real quick. It's gonna take me a minute. Hang on. Where did I put it? Hang on. I'm just looking for my messages. Hang on. On Discord. Ah. I don't know. It'll be a while. But basically what I did was I balanced it like really hard, and then I remodeled a lot of the game, so I can now add more what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I can add more variety. I've completely lost my train of thought. Why does this happen so often? I'm just like, I'm talking and I just kind of like forget what I'm doing. How do I do that? That's impressive. That's like really impressive. Is that like an indication of how bad my is that an indication of how bad my attention span is or something? Because I'm doing something and I'll forget what I'm doing. It doesn't. I think it's probably because I feel a little bit nervous. I'm not used to cameras and stuff. Obviously, there's no camera right now. It's just me talking, but I'm not exactly comfortable talking as much as I do on stream. I need to kind of like break myself out of that. It's not that I don't like talking. It's the fact that I'm not used to talking as much as I do. Speaking of things that hinder me talking, how long does it take to stop getting new teeth? Because this is a really awkward like subject for me, but like I'm still getting teeth. I'm in my mid-20s. I'm still getting new teeth coming through, and I'm really concerned about the fact that I'm getting that many teeth in. I have enough space, but like I feel like every time I think, oh yeah, there's barely any space left in my mouth, there's always seems to be more space in my mouth for a tooth to grow. I've got one at the back right of my top back right at the minute, and I can feel it coming through, and it's like making it hard for me to swallow. I haven't really gone to the dentist in a while, so I have to kind of like. So I'm actually starting to think, should I go? I haven't been since I started getting my wisdom teeth in. I don't think it's not really causing me like physical pain or anything, so I don't think it's like it's gonna be too serious. Because I remember the last time I went in to the dentist, they said my wisdom teeth were growing just fine. There's not gonna be something drastic like, oh, you're gonna need like to get all your wisdom teeth out. But I am a little bit concerned about how many wisdom teeth I'm guessing, because there's just a lot of them, like a lot. I must have had, and especially like when I was in my early 20s, like like around 20, right? I started getting my wisdom teeth, and like it happened like really slowly. So basically, like I got a wisdom tooth, and then I didn't get a wisdom tooth for like 2 or 3 years, and then when I hit 23, I just started getting wisdom teeth like every couple months, and it was just, I started to think to myself, is this normal to get this many wisdom teeth? It's so weird. I'm really confused by this the whole ordeal, really. The whole ordeal is just kind of weird to me. So, from like that's why I'm always kind of wondering, is it normal to have that many wisdom teeth? I'm gonna quickly edit this tile so I can actually add it to the list of usable tiles, quote unquote. That doesn't look right. Okay, that looks a bit better. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, so yeah, that I don't know. I kind of just wandered onto that one. But yeah, that's something weird that's kind of like happening to me. I'm just debating whether or not that's actually a good thing or a bad thing. I'm probably making a fuss out of it for no reason. I don't think it's probably nothing major, and it's probably something that a lot of people go over. It just feels really weird to me that it's coming, like so many are coming through in the last like 2 or 3 years, right? It's like since the pandemic started, I've started noticing all my wisdom teeth are finally like coming through, like not all at once, it's like one at a time kind of thing. Like, oh, one month there was a period where I was like every month I was getting a new wisdom tooth. So it was like 1 month I was getting like the back top right, and then the next one I was getting the bottom left, or like back bottom left, and it was back bottom right, and it was just like, I thought to myself, am I just is my metabolism just stopping my teeth from coming through that quickly, or is it just I'm just getting unlucky? Because I unfortunately have a very fast metabolism. I mean, some people would say, oh, but that's not a bad thing, right? But I'm just gonna leave it like this because I'm gonna have to edit it again later. But for me, I just don't like my metabolism, like at all. It's I just don't find it very, because everyone's always saying, oh yeah, but you have such a good metabolism, you're like skinny and all that, and I'm like, yeah, but I fucking feel, I said it to my dad the other day, I can feel my rib cage. I don't think that's like a healthy type of metabolism if it's going faster than what I can eat? You know? I just noticed this layer technique is breaking my tiles. I was like, yeah, that doesn't really help if it's like breaking my, you know. How do I explain it? I guess that's the best way I can explain it, really, isn't it? But yeah, that's kind of like my metabolism is weird like that. People are gonna say, "Oh, stop complaining about it. It's like you got a really nice metabolism." I'm just like, yeah, but like, I don't feel comfortable with this metabolism. I'm gonna quickly change this color to. You know what? I'm probably just gonna completely remove this. Not that bit. Probably just gonna take off all the grass-like bits and then just kind of work through this. I'll sort these ones out later, but basically I'm gonna just do that, and I'm gonna like just paste it onto the bottom layer. I'll sort it out later. It's gonna look really scuffed, but trust me, like in the long run, it will look okay. Yeah, my metabolism's kind of wacky, and I don't really like it that much, but everyone's like, oh, it's such a good metabolism, like, I wish I had your metabolism. And I'm just like, yeah, but I don't feel comfortable with this metabolism. I just kind of eat and nothing fucking ever takes effect. Which is great if you're like, you know, not feeling your healthiest, I guess. But for someone who's like living with it, you don't really understand, like, it's not fun to live with a metabolism like this. Because you always feel, oh, like, I'm really like underweight, and it kind of just messes with your confidence. It's like, oh yeah, you're just skinny, like, all the time. Okay, this map is gonna look really scuffed for a little bit, and I'm gonna like work on the tile set, and it's just gonna like look tremendously better, like really quickly. So if you're looking at this right now, it's probably going to change like a decent amount in the next 20 minutes. So don't kind of like judge me on the map. Oh, is this all on there? Did I put all these on there? I guess it did. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna just go in a minute and just like sort the whole thing out. So this is like a baseline of what I wanted for the. So it shows that you can have these tiles inside. It shows the all that. So I'm gonna quickly grab a couple more of the tiles from here. So I want the willows. I'm gonna grab the willows again. I'm gonna just overwrite these willows real quick. And I'm gonna take these ones off. I have to be careful with this one. Let's do this one by manually though. These ones are probably fine, but these ones aren't. So let's just sort the tree out. It shouldn't be too hard because all I really need to do is put this on another layer. Take this, do that. And I'm gonna take this tile. Take it down here. Do this and just copy it across. And like, you'll know the end of it because it'll do that. And then by like repeatedly placing these across, it will just like make the whole tree kind of like merge in a way. I guess that's the right word. From here, I want to go grab these two tiles, and I want to make this and this like a darker color. And then I want to take this one. I'm going to add that, that here. That way it kind of blends in, right? Oh, not there. I have to merge the layers before I do that. So before I merge the layers, I'm going to quickly grab this. I'm going to paste it on layer 2. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to grab this tile again. I'm just going to like... I'm not going to go the whole way around. I'm only going to do like... Oh, wrong layer. Yeah, I'm only going to do like the bits that matter. So like here. And then across from here. I'm also really needing the toilet, which is really awkward. I think I'm just going to go real quick. Hang on. All right, okay, I'm back. Let's just continue. So, oh, whoops. So obviously, all I really need to do is I just need to like paste a lot of blocks. Until it like fills up the whole blank spot, and then I just need to merge the layers down. That's basically what I'm doing right now. Which is easy enough, I suppose. Can't really explain in much more detail than that, really. Okay, now that we've got that, merge that down, save. Now, watch as the map transforms. Yeah, now everything's kind of like a bit more in. Do you get what I mean? So everything doesn't like, nothing pokes out, nothing's like being overlaid or whatever. So now all I need to do is I need to grab it from over here. We need the graphic for the... Not this one, I don't want tile sets, I want water tiles, I want the mud one, so not there. Just open this one up here. Pass that across. And then I want kind of like the same color. So I need the base color, which is, I guess this one. And from here, we want the greenish hue. I can just copy the whole layering, actually. I'll just do that. I do that. Then I do this. That's the whole layering, right? Oh, I need to do that, and then I change the. Oop. And now it kind of like merges together. Now, you may be wondering why I decided to make this green. Honestly, the only reason I decided to make this green was because... How do I explain it? Oh, so I don't select this more. Yeah, the only reason I decided to make this green was because it's not really a color I've used in a cave before, like ever. I think you may be thinking to yourself, okay, but you got the lush caves coming up, so maybe you wouldn't you have wanted to use the green there? I'm like, not really. Is the answer to that question? I'm gonna just quickly make these darker because obviously they're sticking out like a sore thumb on the tile set right now. But yeah, I don't really want to make it like that color. I feel like that's not going to work at all. Also, like I said before, this entire game, I'm trying to like eliminate the use of black on overworlds, on the overworld as much as physically possible. Because a lot of people just use black, and it just kind of like stands out really much, a lot to me, compared to like, because a lot of people don't use black outlines on their trainers either. It just looks really weird to me. A good example of this is Reborn, which is, you know, black and edgy and all that, but it's not like, how do I explain it? But yeah, okay, this is the basic structure I want to kind of give. So this is gonna lead on to the rest of the cave, so I'm gonna just like make the map shorter real quick. There's no reason for me not to. I've got 999 maps to use. There's really no reason for me to like be stingy about it. You get what I mean? Like, there's no reason for me to be like, oh yeah, yeah. There's no reason for it, really. Okay, so I'm just gonna move it across. I'll move it across by. I say 4. And we're gonna go reduce the width by 10. Oh, that's too much. Okay, wait. Well, at least this is easy enough to recover from. So he's like that. Okay, from here, I'm probably gonna stop recording in a bit because obviously I don't want to make this as long as the last one. That one went on too long because I decided I wanted to like keep talking when I told myself to stop. But this time I'm telling myself to stop. It's like, I'm actually going to stop this time. And I've already made like, this is not a really big map. It's like a tiny map. And obviously I don't finish my maps on stream. I didn't finish the last one on stream, and I'm not gonna finish like this. I mean, I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start the cave system for next. Yeah, I'm gonna start the cave system for next stream, but I'm not gonna like make the whole thing on stream. Do you get what I mean? So I already started like compiling this task up before I even began making the thing. Go up by 3. Yep. And then I just need to delete. Yeah, one more. So yeah, this is basically what I'm gonna have. It's a really simple map. I'm probably gonna like make a couple more edits to it, realistically. But this is like the basic outline of the map I wanted to make. Yeah, not really much I can say about that. This is a really simple like cave map. I've made similar things in the past, so this is not like a new kind of like experience for me in terms of caves and stuff. I'm probably just gonna do a bit more decorating and then call it, because obviously like there's not a lot to talk about today either, to be fair. I went and had my giant rant last time, so I don't think there's a lot I can really explicitly say. At least I had someone to like talk to last time, and this time around it's been like kind of quiet. Not like I didn't announce it. I put it on Twitter and I put it on the Relic Castle Discord, but no one's really like said anything, I think. It's fine. It's fine. It's nice to have a stream every once in a while. It's like, okay, there's not really any traction, but I'm just kind of like talking. Hopefully someone will pick it up eventually and be like, oh yeah, this guy's cool. Okay, so you might be wondering why I did this. It's because of this, if you get what I mean. It's like, it's this size, but you can't really see past her anyway, so what's the point of like letting people see past it? I know that when I get into the map, it's just gonna like do that thing, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna just quickly fill up this map with a bit more detail, and I think we're gonna call it here. Wrong there. I want to make this grass consistent as well. So I have a weird thing with grass. It's basically like I don't make the grass like one solid block like this very often. Like I will do it sometimes when I feel like it needs it, but for the most part I don't. And the reason behind this is because I want to make the grass look kind of natural-ish. I know it's kind of hard to really sell this kind of grass like this, but at the end of the day, it is a Pokemon game, and you do need to kind of like sort it out in a way. I think this is what we got, and I think I'm gonna stop here. So thank you for watching this stream.